Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hey, guys.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, dope?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good Tuesday and have a good week ahead of you. I know I have had a very, very interesting day. I will get to that shortly. But let's find out how my co-hosts are doing. How are you, Satsu?
Pretty good. Me and Monkey did some behind-the-scenes work over on 7 Days to Die, messing around with the new base concept that I came out with, and we got a lot done. Figured out a whole bunch of different things, little holes in the base that we needed to fix and flaws with the new design that I was messing around with, and then I was hanging out with Squeetus most of the day. Squishy came home, and I've just been kind of chilling out. So, good day overall.
Cool. Monkey, how are you feeling?
Excuse me, better than I was, but exhausted. I'm just exhausted from the last couple of days. How you doing, Scribbles?
Well, I will tell you in a moment because it's going to take a little bit. So before that, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you guys have not already, and obviously many of you have not, because I have to tell you to do so. And please share our stuff. Share it far, wide, and sideways. Say it every time, but it's worth repeating. You guys are our best algorithm for telling the world that we exist, as well as any other content creators you happen to enjoy who are not backed by some kind of corporate entity. Independent creators are not supported by YouTube in any really meaningful way anymore. So you guys are really the our best helpers in that regard. So appreciate when you share our stuff and tell people about us. And yeah, but my day. So I have a story. So as many of you know, as I think I say almost every night before we close out the show or something, or at least to these guys, I get up very early in the morning to go to work. I get up usually at 4 a.m., so I'm out the door at 4:30. This morning, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. Not for anything too exciting. I had to go to the bathroom. It happens from time to time. You know, it's a human thing. So as I sort of, zombie into the bathroom, do my business, I hear water running. Like water running from not my apartment, but from the apartment above me, I think. And I don't think much of it at first, even though I'm thinking, well, it's 2:30 in the morning. Well, maybe they're taking an early shower or something. I don't know. So I go back to bed. Thank you, Jay Reynolds. Mediocre. Okay, well, I haven't finished the story yet. At least give me a chance to tell the whole thing before you judge it. Jesus. So I go back to bed, but the problem is like once you've heard that sound, it doesn't quite go away, and you're just waiting for the next shoe to drop. You're waiting for that little thunking sound of them turning off the shower, or that sort of high-pitched fade out as the tank of the toilet fills up or whatever. It didn't go away. It didn't go away after 10 minutes. Didn't go after 20 minutes. Didn't go after 30 minutes. I was like, oh. Now, it should be said that about 4 or 5 years ago, the water tank in the apartment above me burst, and it was raining inside my apartment at one point, causing all sorts of problems. So these are the visions that are dancing in my head as I'm hearing the sound. And so I go back, and all the apartments are basically clones of each other. So if I'm hearing it from my bathroom, I know it's coming from their bathroom. Mm-hmm. So I go back, and I'm like, it's not stopping. It's not stopping. It's now 3:15 in the morning. I'm like, oh, God. So besides the fact that I'm thinking, oh, no, it's going to start raining in my apartment, the other thought is like, maybe somebody's in trouble. That's the other thing, too, is like, did somebody fall asleep in the tub or something like that? So I throw on a robe, go outside, and the first thing I do is walk around the side of the building and check, and nope, there are no lights on in the bathroom windows. I'm like, oh, great. So I go upstairs, I knock on the door, no answer. I'm like, oh, God. Go back downstairs, sound still going. Fuck. So I, better safe than sorry, I call 911. I say, I need a welfare check because I don't know, something may be going on. So cops come out, but there's no outward signs of an emergency, right? So they can't just knock down the door or something. They knock on the door several times, no answer. And they're like, you just gonna have to call your apartment manager, and there's not much we can do unless there's something else going on. I'm like, okay. So at 4 a.m., I call my apartment manager, and of course I don't expect a response right away or anything, but I leave a message. And then maybe about an hour later, I think I better back this up with some documentation. So I sent an email to my apartment manager and the property company and just say, hey, here's the timeline of things that happened. So I'm thinking, I can't go to the office not knowing what the hell's going to happen because I don't want to come home to something that I could have prevented if I was here to witness it, etc. So I'm like, I'm going to work from home today. Just the way it's got to be. So I, boot up my computer and log into my workstation and message my boss. And I'm just like, here's the situation. I'll just be working from home. I haven't done it in like a year, so I didn't think I was going to get any trouble. And I didn't. Jump ahead to about 8 a.m. So now it's almost 6 hours since I first noticed the sound. And granted, the sound could have been going much longer than that. It's just that I happened to be up at 2:30 in the morning. And the apartment manager says, well, I called the people in the apartment above you, and they don't know of anything going on. Are you sure it's not coming from downstairs? And I'm like, oh, maybe. So I go in my bathroom, put my ear to the floor, and sure enough, that's where the rushing water is going through the pipes. I'm like, okay. So on one hand, I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not going to have water raining into my apartment. But now the same concerns come to my head. Like, is somebody in trouble? Is there other electrical problems if something gets flooded? So he's like, yeah, well, I'll be out there in an hour or two. And I'm like, an hour or two? Okay. So I keep working, and I'm doing the whole drudgery work I was talking about yesterday. And oh God, it was mind numbing, but I'm sitting there going like, okay, I hope it's just something like the toilet got stuck and it's just draining water, right? That there's nothing catastrophic going on down there.
Right.
So, 8 turns to 9, turns to 10, turns to 11, turns to 12, turns to 1, 1:30, the sound stops. And I'm like, okay. And so I wait about an hour thinking I'm going to get an update from the apartment manager because he texted me about the whole thing in the first place. I don't hear anything. So I text him, I say, so the whole thing get resolved? So let me tell you what happened. The people downstairs and they notified the apartment manager of this apparently. They notified him they were going to be out of town for 2 weeks. And I guess they just left a couple of days ago or something. Sometime in between them renting the apartment and today, they took it upon themselves to install a personal device using the toilet water pipe, a bidet.
Oh, okay.
Which is, against the lease. But they did this because they needed it to squirt their buttholes or something. And the pipe burst. The whole apartment was flooded. Carpets ruined. Floors apparently were starting to warp. A complete disaster area down there. And so they're going to have to gut the whole thing. The people that live down there, they are on the hook for so much shit. And I'm just thinking to myself, God, that's awful, but it might not have been that bad if they just responded quicker when I called. But anyway, so yeah, it's just, I was like, that sucks. And now I'm just hoping that they clean it up real quick so it doesn't turn all like mildewy and it starts to smell up my apartment because it's going to rise upwards. But anyway, that's my story for the day as I cut into news time. But sorry, guys, I just couldn't not tell you that epic. Thank you, Big Assassin 80. 5 for you too. Well, thank you, Big Assassin 80. Oh, is Sinatra here? It's Sinatra's here. Hello, Sinatra. Yes, F for the apartment. Their apartment. And they're like still on vacation or something. They get this call. It's like, yeah, guess what? You totally destroyed everything in your apartment, and you're going to pay us for it. Oh, what a day! What a day. So that was my adventure for today. And well, now we can get into the news. Anything else before we get into the actual news?
Nope.
Nothing
all right.
comes to mind.
Now let me see if I can get this thing to screen share, as I've had some interesting adventures in screen sharing lately. Is that going to work? That does work. Okay. So the House Committee unveils impeachment resolution text. A key House committee on Tuesday set the stage for the next phase of an impeachment. Again, an impeachment that hasn't actually officially started yet, but the next phase is in process, by releasing the rules that will guide Democrats through impeachment proceedings against President Donald Trump. Again, they have not been operating under any rules to this point for any previous phase of the impeachment, which hasn't actually started yet, because the next phase is just about to begin, which will be the first phase. You getting all this, everybody? The House Rules Committee released the text of the resolution Tuesday that the House will vote on later this week to formalize the impeachment proceedings. Everything prior to this has been informal. The full House is expected to vote on the resolution on Thursday. Did you get that one?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The resolution provides the procedural details for how the House will move its impeachment inquiry into its next phase. And it also represents the first time that the full chamber will take a vote related to impeaching the president. Thank you for your sided coin. You can crash with me if you have to vacate. Well, I'm not vacating. They're supposedly on that like nobody's business, because that apartment down there, that apartment is cursed. They had a mold problem a few years back. And there was a time where my ears helped again. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. There was a heater that the apartment company had installed in there. They installed upside down or something, and it shorted out and started smoking. It set off the smoke alarm while the guy was off on a trip or something. And I heard it through the concrete walls and everything, and got the fire department out here before it actually lit up. So yeah, that apartment's cursed. Thank you, Pincalo. Dumb question. What point is this considered? Oh, at what point is this considered a coup? It's not until he actually is on the verge of getting removed or something. Right now, it's just procedural game show stuff, basically. At least as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people are calling it, this is a coup. It's like, it's not a coup. It's just... House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has argued that the vote will not be taken to formally authorize the impeachment inquiry, as Republicans have demanded, but will help, quote, to eliminate any doubt as to whether the Trump administration may withhold documents, prevent witness testimony, disregard duly authorized subpoenas, or continue obstructing the House of Representatives. Thank you, Sanguine. So who is looking forward to the full voting rules of Orange Man, Bad, Vote, Impeach? Yeah, so she's not... she's argued that the vote is not being taken to formally authorize the impeachment inquiry. Then what is the point?
I thought that's what they were doing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you, Lion Patriot. Scribe has the goodest ears. I apparently have really sensitive ears. I don't know what to tell you. I'm glad I do, because it's stopped a few problems in the past. Wait a second. Okay, the House Rules... I'm backing up. The House Rules Committee released the text of the resolution Tuesday that the House will vote on later this week to formalize the impeachment proceedings. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has argued that the vote is not being taken to formally authorize the impeachment inquiry.
Then...
Okay.
She's having her cake and eating it too.
I told you, she fucking stalling, dude.
She is. That's exactly what this is.
Republicans in the White House have criticized the resolution as a measure that's coming too late following weeks of closed-door depositions. Given what it's supposed to do now, retroactively it can't do, so yeah, I kind of have to agree. But it's also a sign that public hearings are on the way. Well, why weren't they public in the first place?
Hello.
The text of the resolution lays out how the House Intelligence Committee will conduct public hearings and how the House Judiciary Committee, quote, shall report to the House of Representatives such resolutions, articles of impeachment, or other recommendations as it deems proper. How it will, how it shall. Okay.
I
don't know if there's much else to say. It's all just gobbledygook after that. But it sounds like stop, start, it is, but it isn't, back and forth. I don't just get it over with. Seriously, just start it. You don't have much time. If you want to get this done by Christmas, you better just start it. Just officially start it. You should have officially started it 4 months ago. But if you're going to play games, now's the time not to, because you guys aren't doing yourself any favors in the proceedings. The longer it doesn't look like you're taking it seriously, the less of an impact it's going to have when you finally get to your end game.
Yeah, I told you, man. Pelosi is stalling like a motherfucker. She gonna keep doing it, and eventually she gonna be like, you know what, guys? It's too late. We waited way too long. We need to focus on something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, how about some completely different news? Now for something completely different.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. Is it going to switch tabs for me, or do I have to manually do that every time? I guess I have to manually do that every time. That's that's irritating. Let me try that again. Okay, let's do that. There we go. Yeah, so Kotaku is falling apart.
I'm shocked.
No shit.
I've just seen sort of the high level stuff that people have been tweeting out. I don't know what the details are. Maybe this will tell us. I guess we'll find out. Several Kotaku staff fired after complaining of, quote, atrocious ads, unquote. It appears that more than a few of the working staff at gaming mega site Kotaku have been fired. Writers and editors were handed their pink slips throughout the day. Affected personnel includes investigative columnist Jason Schreier, Deadspin deputy editor Barry Pacheski, Stephen Totillo, Gita Jackson, Heather Alexandra, and likely others. Well, those are some famous names from the Gamergate era. Stephen Totillo, another tough day at the office. I've steered Kotaku through some rough waters before thanks to my amazing team. Can I do it again? We'll see. We all love the site and the family of sites we're in and are extremely motivated to do right by our readers and viewers.
Shut up.
That's me still trying to make sure I have a good reputation in the industry so I can get a different job somewhere. According to Schreier's Twitter feed, staff members were fired after an article was posted about the, quote, atrocious ads on the site. It has since been removed. The article encouraged readers to, quote, contact Kotaku's new private equity owner management team, unquote. CEO of GO Media, Jim Spanfeller, was instrumental in letting staff know that they had been fired. GMG Union. Earlier today, Jim Spanfeller, CEO of GO Media, fired our colleague and longtime Deadspin deputy editor Barry Pacheski. This will not stand. We will have updates soon. Boy, between Splinter and now this, Jim Spanfeller has really been cleaning house lately. We'll be keeping an eye on this story as it develops. At this point, it remains unknown whether the site will be shut down permanently or if a new staff will be hired. As for the staff members that have been fired, it further remains unknown if they will stick together to start a new site, go on to other gaming sites, or strike out on their own as independent contractors. Well, if their tendency is to bite the hand that feeds them, I don't know. Do they have is there a copy of this article that got them fired? I wonder.
Am I understanding that they conspired and write an article to shit on their own website?
Basically, let's see. Is this archived anywhere? I wonder. I don't know where it might be. If anybody has a link to maybe a copy or a archive of that article, I'd be curious to read it. I don't know where it is right now, so yeah, let me know. But yeah, Kotaku is being gutted. Now, should a staff of a media organization be disallowed from criticizing their own media organization? Well, sure, because they're employees. They're not. You don't want to have activists in your own company shitting on your own investors. That kind of it's almost like gamers don't have to be your audience anymore. Where have I heard that before? Thank you, Sanguine. So in short, quote, we wrote an article talking shit about our employer and are now shocked that they would fire us, unquote. Seems to be the case. But then again, I haven't seen the article in question, so I don't know for sure. Let me...
About right.
Let's see, and now Monkey's gone.
Yeah, he said he'll be right back.
Oh, I missed that. Sorry, I got different screens up. So let's move on to the next story. NCAA says athletes may profit from name, image, and likeness. Now, this has been a big thing for many, 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 many years now because college students in sports teams have had their likenesses, etc., put into video games and onto T-shirts and all types of stuff. But since they're not employees of the colleges, technically, the colleges have retained all the profits off of these games and likenesses and licensings. They haven't made anything at all off of them because they don't count as employees of the colleges, so they have no claim to profits from anything the college does with the likenesses of their teams. And of course, this has been all over the place. There was a PBS documentary about it several years ago that kind of broke it down. But now, well, guess what, NCAA? You're out of a big paycheck. Thank you, Terry Diamantis. Gamers are dead. Now it's Kotako's turn. Yep. The NCAA Board of Governors on Tuesday voted unanimously to allow student athletes to be paid for the use of their name, image, and likeness once its 3 divisions decide on rules for such opportunities. Why do I think those rules will be multi-tiered? Quote, "We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes," said Michael Drake, chair of the board for the NCAA, which governs major college athletics. The board, which met in Atlanta, asked each division to create rules between now and January 2021. The action was based on recommendations from the NCAA Board of Governors Federal and State Legislation Working Group, which includes presidents, commissioners, athletics directors, administrators, and student athletes. Quote, "Structuring a model for allowing students to monetize a name, image, and likeness while maintaining some recruiting balance is one of the biggest and hardest issues that everyone's dealing with," NCAA President Mark Emmert told CNN. Yeah, Mark Emmert's an interesting character. I forget the name of the PBS. It was a Frontline documentary, and they did a whole thing about this subject, about college students not being given the same protections or opportunities as employees would of, say, a professional team, because they are technically college students, even though everything about them and their performance and their likeness is being licensed by the colleges for giant profits without anything actually going to the players. And they've been hiding behind the skirts of they're just students, or they're still just academic athletes. They're not professional players. So this is really interesting to me. This has been taking years and years and years to actually come to the fore, which means that the colleges have been profiting ridiculously for years and years and years. The NCAA's stunning reversal came after California passed a Fair Pay to Play Act, which would go into effect in 2023. Other states are looking at possible legislation. The California law would allow athletes to sign endorsement deals and licensing contracts, something NCAA rulemakers will address. Yeah, so they're trying to head off at the pass any more restrictive rules that might come state to state by setting up their own rules rather than allowing the states to restrict them even further than California could. Because, the winds have changed and they can't get away with cheating these guys out of their rightfully earned money anymore.
Yeah, I always thought that was like, and I never really thought about it too much because I'm just like, that's just how it is, But yeah, that has always been kind of weird how they're doing all this work and all this shit, and it's just like, yeah, you don't profit off of any of this. We do. Yeah, they're because they were student athletes, they weren't allowed to sign endorsement deals or licensing contracts or anything else, so long as they were associated with the college team, because they were students, not professionals. So the NCAA got away with economic murder all these years on the backs of these guys, and now they're not going to be able to anymore. So now they're running to set their own rules before the states jump on them any further. I'm curious to know, like, if there's an actual issued reason as to why they did it. Like, did it have something to do with their college and the fact that a lot of them were, like, having it paid for through like scholarships and shit like that, or was it like they were providing them something else as a trade-off? I'm actually interested to know, like, what the rationale behind it was, because maybe there is one. I just can't think of what it could be. That's what Judge Death just said in the chat. Goodbye, sports scholarships.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder what's the balancing act going to be on this.
Yeah.
Because if they lose out on this funding, what excuses are they going to use that for to ding the students?
Yeah, you're getting all this money through this now. So what do you need a scholarship for? You can handle that.
Right.
If you're not making enough money, obviously you're not good enough.
Right. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how how this goes back and forth. Welcome
Sorry
back,
about
Monkey.
that, guys.
That's okay.
Thanks.
Let's see. Well, let me close out that one. So we have an update, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. A taco truck served ICE workers, apologized, then apologized again. A taco truck company is in the middle of a controversy after serving workers at an immigration detention center in upstate New York, then apologizing for it. Buffalo-based Lloyd parked one of its trucks at the Buffalo Federal Detention Center in Batavia and served lunch for workers there last Wednesday. It did not take long for Twitter to come out against their move. Twitter, you mean? Or people on Twitter?
Well, people on Twitter.
Yeah, but they don't say that. Like Twitter, the company, said no. With clients vowing to never eat their tacos again, as though you probably ever did in the first place.
Right.
The taco company put out an apology the next day, saying it was a mistake to have served immigration and customs enforcement workers there, and there was, quote, no excuse for their actions, and acknowledging their ties with the local immigrant and refugee community. Then came the second wave of backlash. Why was a food truck apologizing? CNN editing, guys. CNN editing. Why was a food truck apologizing for serving workers on their lunch break? ICE Buffalo Field Office Director Thomas Feely went so far as to call it discrimination against the facility workers. Quote, the men and women who work at the Buffalo Federal Detention Facility are detention officers, deportation officers, administrative support staff, doctors, nurses, judges, attorneys, and maintenance staff. Each and every one of them is entrusted with the safety, security, and care of the detainees here, Feely said in a statement. Quote, we are doing our jobs, enforcing the laws passed by Congress, just like we have for many presidents. We will not apologize for doing this, not even a food truck that now chooses to discriminate against us. On the heels of the uproar, on Monday came the second apology. At a news conference, Lloyd co-founder Pete Cimino said their intention was never to be political. Quote, we make tacos, not war, he said. Chris Dorsenio, the co-owner, and I want to fully and sincerely apologize for our past statements after our truck's visit to the federal detention facility in Batavia last week. Our statement was hastily made, and we reacted too quickly to criticism we received for that visit. But with angry customers on both sides and apologizing for their apology, the taco company became a proxy for America's culture wars. No, they're just one more example of a company that's too scared to stand up for the freedom of people to eat their product.
Yeah.
This shit is silly.
Yeah. This takes me back to the classic example of the Beachbody Ready posters in Britain that one time.
Oh, yeah.
At Protein World. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, this is, 2014, 15, something like that. There were these ads in Britain on the tube stations and such of this, really fit bikini woman. And it said, are you Beachbody Ready? Protein World. And they sell protein supplements and all this. And everybody got offended. Oh, my God, how dare you call that a beach body? Why are you fat shaming people? Why are you size shaming people? Thin privilege, yada, 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 yada. That's not a realistic body type, even though that was a real fitness model who really looked like that, who really put the work in to look like that. And what was Protein World's response? Settle down. They were just like, whatever.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll survive. And Protein World got the biggest boost from people like, good for you, not giving in to a bunch of whiners. And yeah, and they're still going. They haven't been destroyed. But I'll tell you what, companies that apologize for not doing anything wrong in the first place and then apologize again, yeah, Lloyd's has just shot themselves in the foot with like 3 tweets. It's just, thank you, Adabisi. They realize how much they lose. Yeah. Yeah, instead of standing up for themselves, defending their decisions and their products, they're not harming anybody by feeding hungry people. And they're also effectively vilifying honest workers by saying, you guys aren't worthy of our food because you're somehow evil or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a prime example of them realizing that the people who are complaining are absolutely nothing compared to the amount of people you actually serve. Like it's always a tiny minority that the media has made sound like a giant, because the media is talking about it. You're like, oh God, so many people are pissed. It's like 6 fucking people usually who have a genuine attitude and will genuinely not go to your fucking tacos whatever truck anymore. And they waste their time with this shit. It's so fucking stupid. And think about it. This is the worst part about this. If you have that taco truck literally anywhere else, hundreds of people may approach it at any moment. You have no idea what these people's occupation are, what they did. Somebody could come to your taco truck who just left their house with 7 women tied up in the basement. You have no fucking idea, but you still serve them food. You don't ask them, hey, by the way, what do you do, so we can figure out whether or not we want to feed you? No, you don't do that. So why the fuck would you do it here? These people are so fucking stupid, man.
Well, and again, I mean, for Scribe's example, we have our own U.S. example with Chick-fil-A. Remember the boycott Chick-fil-A, and Chick-fil-A went, all right, we're not changing anything. And you had like record sales for them, and they've had record growth since that stupid shit. And all it took was one company to finally go, fuck y'all, we don't care. That's not what we're in the business of.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the business of serving people, and that's what we're going to worry about.
Yep. I got one more I want to do real quick because this came up, well, maybe not late in the day, but at least relatively late as far as my attention was concerned. And it reminded me, it was maybe something that was controversial a few months back. AP exclusive. Middleman helped Saudi give to Obama inaugural.
Ooh.
When President Barack I know. When President Barack Obama was reelected in 2012, a Saudi tycoon and his business associate sent hundreds of thousands of dollars to the U.S. to help pay for the inaugural celebration and get a picture with the president, according to court documents and an analysis of campaign finance records by the Associated Press. Wait, so the Obama inaugural committee was accepting foreign money?
No.
U.S. election law prohibits foreign nationals from making those sorts of political contributions. But the donations Sheikh Mohammed al-Rabani tried to send to Obama's inaugural committee were funneled through a seasoned straw donor, the records and the AP analysis show. Oh, then it makes it okay then. That intermediary, Imad Zuberi, agreed this month to plead guilty to making illegal campaign contributions to several American political candidates on behalf of foreign nationals. He is also set to plead guilty to concealing his work as a foreign agent as he lobbied high-level U.S. government officials. A foreign agent influencing our political process and money being taken by our political leaders? I bet they had no idea this guy represented foreign interests.
Of course. Now Scribe.
How will leftist media talk about this?
I'm sure they have plausible deniability left, right, and center. The prosecution by the U.S. Attorney in Los Angeles is the latest in a string of cases that highlight the prevalence of banned foreign money in American politics, well, not banned enough, apparently, and the often lax approach campaigns take in vetting contributions. Yeah, it happens in every party, doesn't it?
No. It's just the one I don't like.
Zuberi, a jet-setting fundraiser and venture capitalist, has raised millions of dollars for Democrats and Republicans alike over the years. Prosecutors say he has worked on behalf of several foreigners, not just Rabani. He served as top fundraiser for both Obama and Hillary Clinton during their presidential runs, including stints on both of their campaign finance committees. Stints on both of their campaign finance committees? Are you telling me they didn't vet this guy before letting him near the money? Before switching his support to President Donald Trump immediately after his 2016 victory, because, hey, you always want to back a winner, pumping nearly $1 million into the Republicans' inaugural committee. Yeah, well, this guy knows where all the economic bodies are buried. And they don't really, and they have no party affiliation. All it is who's in power. Here's some money.
Yep. Which, by the way, is how it is for a lot of political backers. That's why you saw people who donated to Trump also donated to Julian Castro. I'm sorry, Julian Castro. People want to back the guy who's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. Because why are you going to spend your money on somebody who's going to lose? That's what losers do.
Weibo Jones says, it is 25 days after my half birthday. Sing for me.
But it's not your birthday.
Did we not sing for you on your birthday? Or did you not ask us to?
I'm fairly certain we sang for her. She just wants attention. Common sense, white women reform.
Okay, well, tell you what. For your half birthday, Weibo Jones, we will sing you a half birthday song.
I'm not sure
Monkey?
how to do that.
I don't know either. We'll figure it out.
And a 1 and a
happy
you.
What? Huh?
Happy
you.
Happy me?
Happy
Weibo.
dear. Oh.
I'm lost.
Happy
you.
Happy Jones. Okay, so now we're into MSS News time. So, guys, if you have news stories you would like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's because we had to sing Happy to Jones.
Well, she seemed to have liked it, so.
There you go. And now that I can do like banners and stuff, I can put up little notes like that, and it'll be fun. This one comes from our friend, Sinatra Says. The Washington Post wants us to know why America needs a hate speech law.
Oh, this fucking article.
Yeah,
Scribe's trying to give me a stroke. All right.
Thank you, Sanguine. How long before the Saudi dude is found with a broken neck from choking on his dinner, which was definitely accidental? Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. Let's see if can I put this into the Chromie window. So this is the procedure I have to go through now. I have to put it into the Chrome window, and then I have to see if Washington Post will let me read it. Apparently, yes. And then I have to go over here and see if then StreamYards will let me share it. There we go. Richard Stengel, a former editor of Time magazine, is the author of Information Wars and was the State Department's Undersecretary for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs. Sounds like a job you have where you're situated in a basement or somewhere. From 2013 to 2016. When I was a journalist, not an investigator, by the way, I love Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr.'s assertion that the Constitution and the First Amendment are not just about protecting, quote, free thought for those who agree with us, but freedom for the thought that we hate, unquote. But as a government official traveling around the world championing the virtues of free speech, I came to see how our First Amendment standard is an outlier. Even the most sophisticated Arab diplomats that I dealt with did not understand why the First Amendment allows someone to burn a Quran.
Sophisticated Arab diplomats. Suck my ass. Go ahead.
Is that like an austere religious scholar?
The authoritarians did not understand why you were allowed to not be controlled by them.
Yeah. I mean, that's not sucking up a little bit. Okay, I did not understand why the First Amendment allows someone to burn a Quran. Why, they asked me, would you ever want to protect that? It's a fair question. Is it? Is it a fair question? Well, I guess any question's fair for the most part. I mean, there are no dumb questions, I suppose. Yes, the First Amendment protects the thought that we hate, but it should not protect hateful speech that can cause violence by one group against another. Here's the thing, Buckaroo Banzai. If you decide to take something you've heard as a reason to bring violence to another group, that is your choice. Mm-hmm. It is not an imperative brought on by someone saying something you don't like. That is you having such thin feelings to be hurt. And that is a you problem that you'll make become someone else's problem, which makes you the villain, not the idea you heard that hurts your feelings.
Yeah, oh my God, that is
Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry, I gotta get this. In an age when everyone has a megaphone, that seems like a design flaw.
Can I tell you how much it seriously almost just made me fucking throw my keyboard when I read this earlier?
Yeah, because of all the people between us, you are the most fervent free speech defender. Not to say that the rest of us aren't, but I mean, you have particularly strong.
This is my hill to die on, fuckers.
Yeah.
Oh
God,
motherfucker.
Here we go. It is important to remember that our First Amendment doesn't just protect the good guys. Our foremost liberty also protects any bad actors who hide behind it to weaken our society.
Yep.
In the weeks leading up to the 2016 election, Russia's Internet Research Agency planted false stories that had absolutely no effect on anything. Oh, sorry, no, that's me talking in real world terms. False stories hoping they would go viral. They did. Did they? Did they really? Russian agents assumed fake identities, promulgated false narratives, and spread lies on Twitter and Facebook, all protected by the First Amendment. Hey, why don't you go talk to CNN about that?
Assuming a false identity, well, depending on how much of it they did, is not First Amendment. Now, if you're talking about just a rando, what's the word I'm looking for here? Name on Twitter, okay.
Well, but, no, if he's talking about just false identities as in like an anonymous name or something, Ben Franklin argued for anonymity and the value of it. These aren't ideas that are somehow like, oh, having an anonymous account or something or speaking without revealing your identity. That's not a violation of the First Amendment. It's a whole idea behind the whole whistleblower thing that's being defended left and right, and rightfully so right now.
You have a super chat.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Sanguine. How about just it should be protected because bugger your sacred cows and get bent with your threats of violence, you semi-evolved simian just barely beyond flinging fistfuls of feces.
Excuse me.
Wow.
I take umbrage to that.
Jeez. That's one way to talk about our co-host here. Jeez.
As a simian, I take no, but this also discount. Do you know who the Federalist Farmer was? This is he's an anonymous man who helped shape what our Constitution and what everything came to be.
That's right.
One of the most important figures of the Federalist Papers. Are you fucking kidding? Some of Arabs got offended. Tell them to blow me. I give a fuck.
Back up a little bit. They did. Russian agents assumed fake identities, which could be just like Boogie 2988. Promulgated false narratives, like the press doesn't, and spread lies on Twitter and Facebook. Oh, that never happens by actual Americans either. All protected by the First Amendment. Yes, that's what freedom of speech is, Mr. Journalist. The Russians understood that our free press and its reflex towards balance and fairness.
Are you fucking serious?
Would enable Moscow to slip its destructive ideas into our media ecosystem. Destructive ideas, everyone. The citizens of the United States are not to be trusted with ideas that are not approved. They're not safe entertaining a thought without accepting it. Just so you know.
The part that killed me is when they said anything that could possibly lead to violence. I'm just like, you could say good morning to me and I could beat your ass for it.
Especially if you don't use the proper pronouns.
That's right.
That's partly because the intellectual underpinning of the First Amendment was engineered for a simpler era.
We're too smart for it.
It's not a foundationary bedrock principle of our civilization in this country. No. It's just a simple idea. It's too simple. We're so much more sophisticated now, don't you know? Or
For
CNN
them
can't even do a fucking spell check. We're
for
so
them
sophisticated.
rubes.
Thank you, Sanguine. Careful, monkey. They'll blow you the wrong way up.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
The amendment rests on the notion that the truth will win out in what Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas called the marketplace of ideas. This marketplace model has a long history going back to 17th century English intellectual John Milton, but in all that time, no one ever quite explained how good ideas drive out bad ones, how truth triumphs over falsehood.
You know how it does? I don't know. Researching claims and being skeptical and not falling into a fucking echo chamber of your own ideas.
Hey, who's the author of this again? Hey, Richard Stengel, tell me about the veracity of the phlogiston theory. Tell me about the scientific rigor we put to phrenology now. Okay, tell me about how the actual stars, okay, are just part of a glass sphere that surrounds our planet and moves around the Earth, because the Earth is the center of the universe after all. Yeah, no bad ideas have ever been defeated by more skeptical inquiry at all. It never happens. It just never happens. You know, we can't trust people to have any opposing ideas come in, because obviously it never changes anything ever. You know,
Only bad ideas win.
We're still drinking. We're still injecting ourselves with mercury to cure ourselves of cancer and shit, right?
Well, you see, the whole idea of this is that you're always going to make the wrong choice. You're always going to go with the bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
We as the government have to tell you what those bad ideas are so you don't fuck it up.
Yeah, dude. And this is projection 101. This is, once again, a group of people who knows for a fact, because they peddle bullshit for a living, that their followers and the people who follow them will not research, will not question. They will follow, listen, and obey to everything that they say. And they're like, this is crazy how easily manipulated these people are. Everybody must be like this. And it's just like, no, it's not like that.
Real quick, thank you, Peter Stewart. Just want to throw that argument out. Russian bots are set up as services for hire. Yes, you can rent Russian bots to do whatever you want them to do. Think about that one for a second. Yeah, they're mercenaries. They're information mercenaries. That's it. This guy is off his freaking gourd. I don't. You want to talk about?
He's not.
Oh, he's not. Okay, do tell.
Because this is what I was just talking about. This is all about telling you what you're supposed to think.
Mm-hmm.
See that last, because he goes about the bots. The Russian bot part has nothing to fucking do with this. It's that last part. When is a good idea ever just beating a bad idea because?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we need somebody there to tell you what the bad ideas are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, you might listen to those and believe those ones instead of what we think the good ones are. That's what this is. This is about controlling thought.
Yep. All right. Sorry, guys, dwelling on that one, but holy cats, that touches upon so much of what is just
well.
Toxic.
If it helps, you just took all of my fucketry. So
yay! I might have time for a Mad Lib now. Okay, well, moving on to other stories. Thank you guys for bearing with us on that one. But it was important, because if that is anywhere near getting to be some kind of mainstream thought, oh boy. But anyway, moving on. This one comes from Evil Clipazine, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't know this one.
Why have I been seeing that around?
This is from a site called wearethemighty.com. I've never heard of this. Is this a real? 4 reasons why infantrymen don't need full auto weapons.
Oh, for real?
I think this falls outside of my personal rubric of either knowledge or interest, I'm afraid. I'll read a little bit, though. The primary mission of a U.S. Marine Infantry Rifle Squad is to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire and maneuver to or repel the enemy's assault by fire and close combat. This mission statement is branded into each infantryman's brain and consistently put to practical use when the grunts are deployed to the front lines. In the event a Marine infantry squad takes enemy contact, the squad leader will order the machine gunners to relocate themselves to an area to return fire and win the battle for weapon superiority. The squad leader will also inform the fire team leaders of the situation, and they'll deploy their 2 riflemen and saw gunner to a strategic area, getting them into the fight. Okay. I don't know what to say. It's like, okay, this is a strategy opinion on combat. It could be right. I don't know. I don't have any input on this.
Well, I think this is tied to the whole. They're trying to extend the argument behind civilians when it comes to gun reform, where they're just like, because people's main excuses, they're just like, oh, well, the people in the military need these type of weapons, and they're like, well, if we prove, civilians don't need these weapons, but we could take it a step further and prove that military personnel don't need these kind of weapons. So that way it'll strengthen our gun argument.
Oh, bye, Lady Monkey. Let's see the reasons behind them. Sorry, real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. When has a good idea beaten a bad idea just because argumentation? Darwinian versus Lamarckian evolution. Big Bang versus steady state. Nearly every other time. Yeah, I can't believe that. It just doesn't make any sense to me that a good idea might ever beat a bad idea. It just doesn't happen. And we just don't know how that works. We have no examples of that ever happening before.
The fucker's whole argument is that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes bad ideas win. They do.
It's true. Yep.
And you know what? It sucks. But Jesus fucking Christ, dude, you're a moron. Sorry.
Let's see. So infantrymen don't need full auto weapons, and here are the reasons. 1, they can get trigger happy. Okay, so I guess wasting ammo. 2, negligent discharges can be worse. I suppose that can also be true. 3, barrel changes. Because you wear them out quicker, I suppose. 4, it can lower accuracy. Well, if anybody's ever played a couple of FPSs before, that's true. Until you get that, perk or upgrade where you can steady your aim.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what infantrymen need to get. They need to get a perk,
on
there. They need that strength perk on their special meter. Moving on. Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass. The scariest thing about Alien is how real it's become. Ridley Scott's space horror classic just turned 40. It's never been more relevant to our debates over sex, gender, and reproductive rights. Are you gonna tell me that a face hugger destroying a man is emblematic of reproductive rights? Like they shouldn't have killed the alien, or they should have just what?
They don't know.
When Alien debuted in 1979, the sexual revolution seemed like a done deal. It was released in a post-feminist, post-birth control pill, post-Stonewall universe. When a gender egalitarian future seemed not only possible, but likely. Oh, how times have changed. Director Ridley Scott's classic sci-fi horror mashup, which turns the wonders of the cosmos into a haunted house, is getting its 40th anniversary re-release this month. Yet Alien has become so ingrained in the pop culture firmament that we scarcely pause to reflect on how it reflects the politics of its era. That's a shame, because Alien has never been more relevant than in 2019. Alien was released 6 years after the Supreme Court legalized Roe v. Wade. 7 years after the court made it legal for unmarried people to use birth control. And 10 years after the Stonewall riots kicked off the LGBT rights movement. By the end of the 70s, the youth counterculture of the 60s had long since normalized casual and premarital sex. The ferocious the ferocious Christian anti-choice movement, the anti-feminist backlash, the AIDS epidemic, and the great rightward shift of the Reagan years were to come. Yet Alien somehow predicted that a storm was coming. Okay, you know what? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Okay, written by, what was it, Finney or whatever, way back when, and then turned into a movie in 1956. Okay, that was a metaphor for the Red Scare. Oh, no. Actually, you know what? Wait, it was a metaphor for AIDS. Oh, no. Wait, it was a metaphor for... Everything can be a metaphor retrospectively. Everything! This predicted this. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, I don't think you're remembering Ridley getting her abortion as she turned trans.
Jack Finney. That's what Jack Finney wrote Invasion of the Body Snatchers. God.
I feel like you're discounting that, Scribbles.
Yeah, you know, John Carpenter's The Thing, totally a metaphor for AIDS. That was exactly what they meant for it to be. It wasn't about paranoia or trust issues or any. It could be a metaphor for anything. No, just about AIDS. Okay. Anyway, I'm done with this article because they're just, yeah, I can turn anything into anything, right? I mean, if you're creative.
Hello?
Wait, what just happened?
Did he break up?
I don't know.
Anything you want. What?
You disappeared for a minute.
Did I?
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, how long ago did I disappear?
You said I can turn anything into anything, and then it just died until you said, "Oh, there you are."
Okay, I have no idea. It wasn't OBS this time.
Prospero said Scribe's rage broke his internet.
That's right. All I said was, if you can read between the lines of a cookbook, you can find any recipe you want.
Oh, that's true.
Let's see. We'll do a couple more here because I took too much time with the other stuff. Okay, this one comes from Chaos Eve. I don't think we haven't had a story from Chaos Eve in a while. Why do people hate vegans?
Have you met them? Oh, sorry.
When I think of like vegans as a category, I just think of people that it doesn't even have to deal with people who are actually vegans. I just think of that mindset where like I am the center of all things and I have to tell you about it. That's kind of what it's come to mean to me, at least. And that's not exactly new to people who are vegan. That's just sort of like, attention whores and drama queens. It has left the beige tinted margins and become social media's most glamorous look. But why does veganism still provoke so much anger? No. Veganism doesn't provoke anger. Vegans that have to let us know how food specific they are and how much they are, everybody has to kowtow to their sensitivities about this, that, and the other thing, and how they get to complain about how, we're eating stuff they can't, and no, it makes me feel bad when you're eating stuff I can't eat, and yada, yada, yada. From the hunger strike to the edible projectile. What? I'm not even through the first sentence. What? The edible projectile? What is the edible projectile? Are there bullets made of carrots now? History offers abundant examples of food being used for political ends. Edible, like throwing a tomato or something. Okay, I was like, what? All right. Even so, the crowd of vegans who gathered in central London earlier this year are unlikely to forget the moment when Gaddis Langdons, that's a name of a person apparently, skinned and ate a raw squirrel.
What?
Along with his co-conspirator, Deoncy Kalibanikov, Lagsdons performed his stunt at the weekly Soho vegan market on Rupert Street. He would subsequently demonstrate at Veg Fest in Brighton as part of a self-proclaimed carnivore tour intended to highlight the evils of a plant-based diet. At the London event, he wore a black vest emblazoned with the slogan, "Veganism equals malnutrition." Well, it can. The war on vegans started small. Oh, Lord. There were flashpoints, some outrageous enough to receive press coverage. There was even the episode in which William Sitwell, then editor of Waitrose magazine, never heard of it, resigned after a freelance writer leaked an email exchange in which he joked about, quote, killing vegans one by one, unquote. There was the PR nightmare faced by NatWest Bank when a customer calling to apply for a loan was told by an employee that, quote, all vegans should be punched in the face, unquote. What? I would love to know the context and transcript of that conversation. How'd you go from I would like to apply for a loan to all vegans should be punched in the face?
That's how I start all my conversations.
Yeah, that's how I answer the phone. It's like ring, ring, ring. All vegans should be punched in the face. This is Scribe.
How can I help you?
When animal rights protesters stormed into a Brighton Pizza Express in September this year, one diner did exactly that. Punched a vegan in the face. Okay, well then you charge the person with assault.
Make sure it's never mind.
Oh, here we go. A charge commonly laid against vegans is that they relish their status as victims.
They do.
A charge commonly laid. Now, not every vegan acts like a vegan, if you know what I mean. But vegans who act like vegans, they're the ones who are annoying. They're the ones who give veganism a bad name. Besides the whole nutritional thing. But anyway. Okay. All right, guys, I'm sorry. We went too long on the other stuff, and we got other things we got to get to. So I'm going to stop it there for stories. Appreciate all the contributions. I'm sure there'll be plenty of fodder here for tomorrow or Monkey in the Morning. Remember to tag the stories both with MSS News and hashtag MITAM, because you have a better shot. We have two chances there for your story to end up read on the air by either us at Lords of the Night or on Monkey's Morning Show. Thank you for your sided coin. Michaela and Jordan Peterson approve. Are they vegans?
No, they are
anti-vegan.
They're on the meat diet, last I heard.
Oh, okay.
The all meat. Guys, when you do tag a story for those hashtags, don't tag us.
Right. Don't tag us individually. Tag the shows. Hashtag MSS News, hashtag MITAM. Because you tag us, it's just going to get lost in the flotsam and jetsam and stuff. We won't see it. All right. Anyway, guys, on to YouTube time. I'll go first because my day was bereft of anything that had me doing anything for YouTube. Although I did find a brief video about education that I may do something on. We'll see. And thank you, Sanguine. I think it gets there by, quote, I would like to open an account, but I need to know if this account type is completely vegan and organic, unquote. Does this bank account use eggs? Satsu, what do you got?
Well, I didn't upload anything today, but I did get a shit ton of footage on, like I said, the new base design we're working on for Alpha 18, because Alpha 18 is something else. I tell you, we've been having some issues. So I've been working on a base design, and the first model that I did was excellent. Like, it worked really good. And the second model, not so much. Shit kind of hit the fan. And me and Monkey are working on a third model at this current moment. But what we've decided to do is I think we're going to do this last Horde night that we got coming up. And then we are going to look for a seed, an unoccupied seed that we can use, or just something that's not Nav's game. So that way we can have a fresh, brand new map or whatever. And our sole purpose in this particular playthrough is going to be specifically to make sure that we craft this base, because I feel like based on what we've done and what we've seen, the type of base that I'm trying to build is something you got to start doing from the jump, like from the get-go. Because if you don't, shit can get really fucky down the line. So yeah, that's what we've been doing. And I got a bunch of other stuff that I've either been attempting to do or just kind of doing slowly behind the scenes. And I think that's pretty much it. We will be streaming tonight, right, Monkey?
Yeah.
Okay. We will be streaming tonight, so come and hang out with us for the last Horde night of this particular season, and should be fun.
Excuse me. Monkey, what do you got?
I'm pretty sure I did a Monkey in the Morning. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But that's all I remember.
All right.
I don't think I did anything else.
Well, then, on to Fuckatry. I'm not sure that I had a whole heck of a lot because I was occupied today. As we talked about that. Griffiths tweeted out some examples of other Washington Post articles that have come out. Emperor Palpatine, austere religious scholar, dies at 87. Jeffrey Dahmer, connoisseur of exotic and locally sourced meats, dies at 34. Big Bad Wolf, lung capacity legend and bacon enthusiast, dead at 6. Thank you, Cryptic. I have an addiction to maple syrup. I think I may have to join AA. Okay, I only trust our Canadian viewers to tell us if that was funny.
That's a Canadian joke. I laughed, Cryptic.
Let's see. There was a tweet out today by someone named Blair Guild. I have no idea who that is. What's the bio say? 2020 campaign coverage video editor, Washington Post. Okay. She said the Warren campaign is targeting big tech companies with antitrust plans and a wealth tax that would undoubtedly hit some of the biggest names in Silicon Valley. Here's a look at those plans and the tension they've sparked. And I said, I'm still waiting to hear how Warren or any of the others will detail their strategy for getting Congress to pass their tax proposals. Elsewise, all of this is quite literally a bag of empty promises. Have any of them, and I haven't been paying attention to them day after day, have any of them laid out a plan of, here's how I plan to approach Congress? Not that it'll be immediately successful. I don't,
Yes.
Who has?
Kamala Harris.
What'd she say?
She said, if Congress doesn't do what I want, I'll just do it myself.
She sure did.
She said that on a number of issues.
That's right. That's
as close as we get.
Okay, her plan is dictatorship. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, because and I'm not even being facetious here. I would love it if one of these guys would say, here's the tax I'm going to propose, and here is my plan for convincing Congress to adopt it or to pass it so I can sign it if I become president. Now, I don't expect any candidate to come to me and say, I will get this done, or my plan is perfect and will never change, because everybody knows a plan is just a list of things that don't happen most times. But the fact that none of them, save for Kamala, I guess, has actually laid out and acknowledged in some way, shape, or form that simply being president doesn't mean you pass taxes all by yourself, which is something that it just seems like they're talking down to me every time that they say things like this. It's like, okay, you're the final stop for the tax creation process. You are not the tax creation process as the executive. So I don't even know what you're talking about unless you predicate all of it with a plan for, here's how I intend to approach Congress. It just does not click in my brain if they don't do that. Let's see. Okay.
Real quick, Scribe. I think the key there, though, is they know that most people don't know what you know. And I think they bank on that. Because I don't think a lot of people fully understand the fact that the president can't just go in there and do whatever the hell they want. Mm-hmm. For the most part. And those are, just your basic common voters who kind of don't care and just, pretty much do whatever their designated media is going to tell them to do. And I think they bank on that. They're just like, most people have no fucking idea that I can't just walk in there and just do it.
That's partially because that's partially the fault of us building up the presidency into something more than what it should be, which is mostly just a functionary.
Right.
Glorified functionary is what the president should be, but we've turned them into a functional, at least in spirit or local lore, into effectively the king of America, or the queen, depending on who gets up there. Let's see. The other one was an article from CNN. The Curious Case of Katie Hill. Let me just read you a little bit of this, and then my response to it. Here, I will put this into the stream so you guys can see it too. 1 second, because I think this is particularly interesting. There we go. Go. Okay. The Curious Case of Katie Hill. This video is going to play by itself, isn't it? Even though I told this thing not to autoplay videos. Yeah, it is. Okay. On Sunday, Democratic Representative Katie Hill of California announced her resignation from Congress following recent allegations that she had an improper relationship with a campaign staffer before taking office. Quote, "This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I believe it is the best thing for my constituents, my community, and our country," Hill said in a statement. There's plenty to parse regarding the news about Hill, but one of the most important elements is this: forgiveness. When it comes to the messiness of politics, is a privilege not evenly distributed. More specifically, it's disproportionately withheld from women and Democrats.
Are you fucking kidding me? There are 6, if I recall, Democrats who are currently supposedly under investigation for being accused of some type of sexual deviant activity that we do not fucking hear about anymore.
And you'd have to read the whole article to get all my references here, but I said Hill lacks the, quote, privilege of forgiveness, unquote, because she's a female Democrat. Yet Al Franken was made a pariah by his own party. Hill and Franken resigned. The others you mentioned stuck it out. Hill and Franken could have done the same. He mentions Mark Sanford. He mentions David Vitter. He mentions Donald Trump and a whole bunch of other Republicans who had scandals, super duper scandals that did not make them look good, but they kept their jobs and they kept working and they didn't resign and they got reelected or stayed in Congress or whatever else because ultimately the voters apparently didn't give a rip. Franken resigned because he was too much of a wuss to stand up to his own party, accusing him of things he didn't do and completely demonizing a guy who, I didn't agree with him on everything politically, but as far as I can tell, he didn't do anything horribly wrong, or at least no more wrong than the Republicans have done. And he quit. And Katie Hill quit. She doesn't have to quit. She's quitting. If she really thinks she's a victim, and, as far as the revenge porn thing, I totally buy that argument. But if she thinks that what she did was bad enough to quit, that's her call. She doesn't have to make it, but she did. She's not being given forgiveness. Well, she gave up. Anyway, I think that's all my fucketry. So, Satsu, what do you got?
Well, now, let me see here. Hold on. There was did you guys see the Dave Chappelle clip of him talking to the Hill?
Yes. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love Dave Chappelle, man. I really do. And they still quoted him. Like they put the quote up there or whatever. Because they know most people will probably just read like the first 3 lines and be like, oh, look, Dave's caving. And I'm just like, no, Dave's being Dave, dude. He is doing the same shit he always does. Like right in the press's face, just like, here's my statement, blah, blah, blah. Did I say it right? Did I do it right? Okay, good.
But he set him up so well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I know they were salivating hearing this, like, oh, guys, we got him. We got him now. Even Dave. And then I can see the article now. Sorry, right wingers. Even Dave Chappelle doesn't agree with your fucking blah, blah, blah. Because they did that with, what was it, George Carlin and somebody else. I think it was recently. There was an article where they're just like, they don't agree with your free speech bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, but Dave Chappelle will forever be a legend in my mind. I'm sorry, because he just don't give a fuck. Dave Chappelle is he is the embodiment of not giving a single fuck, and I just love it because he just don't care no more. Because it don't matter. Like if you watched his last special, after he was like he said all those horrible fucking things, he was just like, it don't matter what the fuck I say, it don't matter.
It also helps that Dave now has fuck you money.
Oh, well, I mean, he's had fuck you money for a bit.
He got a decent gig with Chappelle season 3. That's where they tossed the real money at him.
Mm-hmm.
But he walked away from that.
Yep.
So I mean, he had money, but not like he got for that Netflix special. His first 2 or 3 back.
Yeah.
And they're just like, back that dump truck of money back up to his house.
Right.
And, yeah. Now he doesn't even if he did care before, he doesn't even have to anymore. Like, fuck you, I'll say whatever I want. Because what are you gonna do?
Right.
What are you going to do to me? I'm Dave fucking Chappelle. Shut up.
Also, OK Boomer was trending on Twitter.
I saw your thing.
And we just talked about this, dude.
Yeah.
We just fucking talked about this jokingly. That okay boomer is just like a go-to response for fucking people who can't.
Oh, I wasn't joking.
Well, I was. Because I'm just like, what a coincidence. This you look at any feed. This is like the new thing now. This is a trend that people are doing, and lo and fucking behold, they're selling T-shirts of that shit and talking about the significance of the statement for millennials or whatever, or whatever fucking group they were talking about. And
Gen
like,
Z was actually what they said.
Did they say Gen Z? Okay.
Yeah, which they got wrong, by the way, because it's more millennials than Gen Z.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was quite shocked that actually happened. Let me see. We talked about the rapper that kicked that dude off the stage because he wouldn't say fuck Donald Trump?
I don't remember that.
I don't think we did on this show. I don't know if Monkey talked about it on his.
Okay, so some rapper called YG. I have no idea who the fuck that is. But he called some dude up on the stage, and he told him, he was basically asking him, like, identify yourself, and because I know your family gonna see this and everything or whatever, I want you to, stand up here and yell in the mic, fuck Donald Trump. And he said, like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that. So he like cussed him out, told him to get the fuck off the stage, and from what I'm hearing, like, doxed him later. Like,
what?
Somehow he ended up getting doxed or whatever, so people could like go and harass because he wouldn't do that. So I guess he wouldn't say it on stage on the mic, so that means he's a Trump supporter. And this is a fan of his who got called up on the stage at his show, and because he wouldn't yell "fuck Donald Trump" on the stage, everybody booed him, and the fucking rapper dude kicked him off the stage. And I'm just like, what kind of fucking, like, even if I'm not, like, if I'm against Donald Trump or some shit like that or whatever, like, I didn't come to your concert to get on stage and fucking yell political ideals at people. Like, that's not why I'm fucking here. Like, I don't know. And he seemed to be really excited to go up there. I mean, he paid for the ticket to be there, so I'm assuming he liked this person, but maybe not anymore. It's just like, what a bitch thing to do. Like, you just call some white dude up there and be like, yeah, I need you to say fuck Donald Trump if you go be a fan of mine. I mean, I don't know. We live in a stupid time full of really stupid people doing really stupid shit on the daily. Let me see. There was something else I was looking at that I responded to. I think I might have saw it, but I didn't retweet it. No. Oh, well, I guess this ain't really fucketry. This is just kind of funny. Matt Walsh put up a post that said, my wife puts syrup, honey, and peanut butter in the fridge, and this has become the biggest source of conflict in our marriage. And I'm just like, dude, my wife squeezes sticks of butter in order to use them. So I think I might have you beat there. Because I don't know if Monkey, does Lady Monkey do anything like that irks you to no end?
No, we're pretty much on the same page on all of those things.
Now, a lot of people in the chat were like, honey. I mean, like, they were like, syrup, maybe. Everything else, no. People were really against honey and peanut butter and I know, like, why would you put peanut butter in the fridge? Like,
and honey, how are you ever going to be able to use that?
Yeah, it's hard enough to spread as it is. Like, what did her sandwiches look like? Fucking just destroyed. Like, you cannot spread cold peanut butter. But yeah, my wife, she doesn't do it anymore because I yell at her. But when we first got together, to use a stick of butter, she would take the butter out, unwrap it, and then she would just squeeze it until butter came out the other side or just fell off. And just put it back in the fridge, and it'd be butter all over it. It'd be like pouring out the sides where the paper and shit is, whatever. And I'd have to use it. And I'm just like, woman, just fucking cut the butter. Like, what is your problem? Why? Why do you strangle butter to use it? I don't get it. She was just like, it's just easier. And I'm like, for who? I can't.
Easier how?
I don't know. It's the only thing that she does that I'm just like, I just don't. I can't. I love my wife, but she not in the kitchen all that often anymore or whatever. And now what she's resorted to doing is if she wants to use the butter, she'll unwrap it and then she will take the butter and put it directly on the pan and just rub it on there until it melts. And I'm like, okay, that's better, but I still hate it. Like that is better because now it's like charred fucking paper on the end of the butter that she just left and there's butter. I'm like, please, I love you so much. Don't do this to me. And that's real life fucketry, not internet fucketry. And that's all I get.
All right, Monkey.
I honestly don't know if I had anything other than that damn Washington Post article. Let me see. Yeah. There was one more. A new Ilhan Omar tweeted out because the Washington Post, man. The Washington Post, they are on it for the Democrats, man. They tweeted out that for the first time ever, the poor people pay a higher percent of taxes than rich people do, on average. Which is true if you don't actually pay attention to what poor people pay in taxes. No, I'm not being facetious there. The way they came up with this is they don't count things like the earned income credit and the child tax credit, which give poor people back a shit ton of money to where they're actually paying a negative tax. So let's say you're making less than $20,000 a year. Your tax actually comes out to say, I don't know, 15%, whatever. You get your earned income credit back, and the government ends up actually sending you a check for more than you were taxed, including your FICA taxes and likely your state taxes as well. They don't count any of that. They only count what you were taxed. That money on top of it, to the way they did this, that's just like welfare. I'm like, what? But it's through the taxing. So yes, if you ignore that, then poor people are paying more in taxes than rich people by a couple percentage points. It's like,
I'd like to see a rich person's tax return. See how much they got back.
I mean, as long as we have negative taxes because of things like EIC and the child tax credit, you are not going to see people that are poor paying more than rich people, even if rich people are using every tax break they can fucking find. It's not going to happen because poor people often end up paying a negative tax, for fuck's sake. Data says some rich companies pay no tax. We're not talking about companies here. We're talking about people, individual taxes. But anyway, there you go. That's all I had.
Okay. Well, how about a Mad Lib?
Let's do it.
All right, chat. This is what I need you to do. To contribute, I need you to put in separate chat messages the following. I need a plural noun, a singular noun, and a different plural noun. So 2 different plural nouns and a singular noun. And I'll get to you shortly. Monkey, I need a famous person.
Sam Clemens. Because anonymity is a bad thing.
Satsu, you know who Sam Clemens is?
Nope.
I'm sure somebody in chat does. Educate Satsu on who Samuel Clemens was. Satsu, I need a large number.
32 million.
32 million. Monkey, I need an adjective.
Fuck.
What?
Fucked.
Yeah.
Fucked? Oh, okay. All right. Satsu, I need a small number.
3.5.
3. Monkey, I need an animal singular. That's interesting given who I'm asking.
Oh, let's see. Camel.
Ooh, a camel. Does it have a toe?
Probably at least one.
Satsu, I need a country. Any country.
I don't know. Fucking Japan.
Fucking Japan. All right, you got it. Monkey, I need a plural food.
Hot dogs.
Hot
Dogs.
dogs. Satsu, I need a famous artist.
A famous artist.
Mm-hmm.
How about Van Gogh?
Van Gogh. I'm probably misspelling that, whatever. Monkey, I need a food singular.
Oh. Ramen.
Okay. And lastly, Satsu, I need your first and last name. Will you dox yourself, Satsu, here on the air?
My first and last name is already out there, but we'll go with Clitidia Butts.
All right. And then on to chat. My first plural noun. Dom O'Leary says genital warts. All right.
That's nasty.
I need the singular noun. Who's got a singular noun for me? Singular noun. X4390247. Bong. I'll do bong. And the last plural noun. What's a good one? Dirty Nerd says finger puppets. All right. All right, and now I can share this one this time. You guys can see it as I read it. The magic of StreamYards.
Ta-da.
So let's see, is that showing up right? It is. All right, here we go. A trip to the art museum. This brochure for the Samuel Clemens Museum of Art highlights some of the special pieces in the museum's art collection. On the ground floor, you can see sculptures that date back 32 million years ago. One of the fucked treasures here is the 3.5-headed camel made by the people of fucking Japan.
Fucking Japan.
The second floor is a themed exhibit. All the artwork here relates to hot dogs. Make sure you check out the famous painting of Hot Dogs by Van Gogh. And what exhibit about hot dogs would be complete without a giant sculpture of the ramen?
There you go.
Amen.
The third floor features work by one of today's most famous artists, Clitidia Butts. Clitidia Butts' use of color in paintings of large genital warts has influenced many artists. At the end of your visit, be sure to stop by the Bong Shop. Pick up some finger puppets as a souvenir of your trip to the Samuel Clemens Museum of Art.
That sounds exactly like what Clitidia Butts would do.
Yeah, the 3.5-headed camel made by the people of fucking Japan.
People of fucking Japan.
That was good. That was good. So there you go, guys.
Oh, man.
Haven't done one of those in a while. Oh, there you go. And now we're going to start a little early, but it's chat time. So chat if you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories. If you have any bad ideas that have never, ever been defeated by a better argument, please put them into chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. And remember, after this stream over on 2 Cents Plus, you guys are streaming tonight, yes?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. It'll be 7 days to die, I think, isn't it?
Si, senor.
Yeah.
We're going to fight zombies.
Fortnite.
Horde night. Oh my God, hordes everywhere. Tack Alpaca, does Diet Dr. Pepper taste like regular Dr. Pepper? I am told it does, but I don't drink it, so I'll just take my friend's word for it.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close, actually.
Let's see. Frosted Glass. Scribe, have you seen the French film Jacques Vaux Oh, I see what you did there. I'm not going to clarify it because that would be giving you what you want. Toasted Network. Scribe Light, has Hunter Avalone gotten cocked changed? What? I don't understand what that is. Hunter,
I don't know. I know he's had some controversy going on this week, I think it was.
Okay. Truth be told, I haven't thought of that name in a long time. Just hasn't come up. I have no idea what's going on with Hunter Avalone. Dom O'Leary, Lords of the Night, if you were to guess what question I am about to ask, what do you think it would be? Probably something about whether or not I've heard about Jack Gunsky's Jackbox games over on his channel on Tuesday nights. Hey, everybody, we're counting them down. Let's see, Pete, Scribelight, did you watch Mediker's stream about the released FBI documents on the Finders? I watched a good chunk of it. I was trying to, so he went live, and I came in like 45 minutes into it, and so I rewound the stream so I could start at the beginning. And I got maybe an hour 20 into it before he reached the end of the stream live and then, deleted it. So I only got to see a bit of it. I got to go find somebody who archived it and watch the rest. But he's going to do it with part 2, like at the end of the week or this weekend or something. There's more documents to read. It's crazy. Data Wasteland. Scribe, Vincent Van Gogh, Go Thrapple. Oh, nice. Nice. Mike Downey, what proof can you offer to prove that we are not all dead already and experiencing hell? Well, I mean, I did watch Jessica Jones season 2, so you might have a point. Mata Winter, oh Lords, would you eat hot dog ramen? I think I have on several occasions.
I've had ramen or hot dogs in my ramen.
Actually, what I used to do is I'd get the beef ramen. This is what I do in college. I get the beef ramen and I get a summer sausage, right? And then I would cut up the summer sausage into like little strips. Like I cut a circle out of it, and then I cut them, sidewise until I get little strips of summer sausage, and I throw those into it with the ramen, and I mix it all up. And the juices from the summer sausage mixed with the juices from the beef mix and everything. Oh, it tasted so good. It's so bad for you, but it tasted great. Let's see. X39, blah, 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 blah. To what extent should the police's discretion override laws, or should they enforce perfectly the laws as written?
Idealistically, you would say that they should, but there are so many instances where discretion or, becomes a factor because I don't know that there's a lot of situations I've seen personally where, according to the law and what the cop was supposed to do, they probably should have just arrested a person. But because the situation was so nuanced and there was just like a very unique scenario going on, they used their better judgment and solved the problem a different way because there was just it really depends. Because if that's the case, then almost every single human being on the planet would, or at least everybody in the U.S. would have at least been arrested once for jaywalking at some point.
Well, sometimes the best way to enforce some laws and to create a community around the laws is to remind people of the laws when it's not a life or death situation and let them go with a warning.
Right.
I mean, I've watched a lot of sovereign citizen videos, right? And in the course of that, several other kinds of videos get recommended to me that show cops acting well or acting badly. And it's like, well, if the cop had done this in this situation, you would have de-escalated it immediately. Or was this situation really deserving of this reaction, etc.? How much or how little? It's all circumstantial to the moment. And, Sometimes cops make the right choice. Sometimes they make the wrong choice. That's just part of being human beings. But we give them that discretion because, following the rules and enforcing the rules sometimes requires leniency or an alternate method of getting things done to maintain law and order. Because the order part is the other thing. It's like, yeah, you maintain law, but there's a way to maintain order without necessarily having to enforce the laws all the time or as strictly as you have to. That's why judges have discretion on sentencing or that kind of stuff, because that's why mandatory minimums and shit like that is always really scary. It's like no matter what the circumstances are, or 3 strikes you're out. Like your 3rd strike is stealing a bike, and then you go to prison for the rest of your life, kind of thing. That stuff's kind of scary, but yeah, I don't know. There's a clear answer to that question, I suppose. Let's see. Dom O'Leary, Lords of the Night, Scribe. Why do you preface it with Lords of the Night if you're just asking me? Scribe, why didn't you let the other guys answer questions as it was addressed to all of you? Well, I paused for a second to see if there's going to be anything from the other 2 guys, and if they don't say nothing, I move on.
Yeah, what question was it we missed, buddy?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I mean, if you tag it with Scribe Light, I assume you're asking me. So, you just have to put a question up. I'm going to see it anyway. Because that's why the question marks are there. You don't have to tag me in it, unless you're asking me directly, I guess. El Vaquero 555. The guy who skinned and ate the squirrel has a YouTube channel, Svid, and he is a certifiable nut job, flat earther, and likes to drink virgin blood and semen. Okay, well, I wasn't endorsing the guy. I was just reading the story, just so you know. Like, I don't know. I mean, skinning a squirrel in front of a bunch of vegans sounds grossly hilarious, but whatever. Zeo Goat, Scribe Light, given your luck, ever thought of being a Lamenter's Space Marine? Is that a 40K reference?
Space Marine would make it sound so.
Yeah, so I had friends in college who were way into 40K. I only know of it peripherally. I don't know the lore very much. All I did learn about 40K from people is never play 40K, the tabletop version, the miniatures version, with a carpenter. Because carpenters can eyeball distances and angles without having to work too hard. And your line of sight is not the line of sight you think it is. Let's put it this way. Never play a carpenter on those miniatures games. Dom O'Leary, Lords of the Night, what's a summer sausage? Well, it's that big sausage in the plastic thing you go get at the grocery store. It says like summer sausage on it, or I mean that's the generic name. I don't know if there's like there's all kinds, but I just look for like the summer sausage. It's just that big sort of bulk meat tube thing you get in the deli aisle,
Yeah, it has like 2 pieces in it.
Yeah. It's got that paper on it, and it's kind of crimped at the ends, that kind of thing. Ask your local delier or deli person. They'll tell you where it is. Frosted Glass, what woke show do you think will get canceled first? Lily Singh, Watchmen, or Batwoman?
Lily Singh. They can't keep her up too long.
Yeah, I mean... Well, go ahead.
So it depends on how much they're paying her, I guess.
Yeah, and how bad it'll look if they give up on her. She'll get at least a full season, whatever that counts as for the. Yeah, I think unless she's just so tanking they're losing money. But I think if nothing else, the politics internally will keep her on for at least a full season to say that she had a show. As far as Watchmen and Batwoman, I see having at least 2 seasons. I could be wrong, but I mean, if you watched Black Lightning. And I watched season 1 of Black Lightning. I tried to watch season 2. I got an episode in, and it was so bad. I was just, But, I mean, Black Lightning is full of just sanctimonious, current issue lecturing to the audience, etc. And it's on its 3rd season now. So I think Batwoman is worth at least 2 seasons by that logic. And if you look at all the other CW Arrowverse shows progressively, and I didn't mean the pun, but I'll take it. As the seasons have progressed, I said it again, they become more woke So I don't think the CW is necessarily going to boot one of its wokest shows immediately. They'll give it at least 2 seasons and squeeze out the budget for it.
Did you guys see Sofane's tweet about the Watchmen or whatever?
No.
He said, I am really, really loving the Watchmen. It is one of the best shows out there right now. And because the right people hate it, I love it even more.
See, I watched a video that broke, because I don't have HBO. I'm probably never going to see the series in total, but I watched I forget which channel it is, but they broke down all of the Easter eggs or references in episode 1 to the comic books and everything. And just going off of that stuff, it was a really interesting extrapolation off of the situation set in the graphic novel. I don't know about all the details and every piece of dialogue that refers to this, that, or the other. But I could see the logic, and they went into a lot of deep lore on some of this stuff. Like, you would have had to have read the graphic novel 20 times to get some of these references in the background that they brought up, and I have, so I got them. And it wasn't just fan service for the sake of fan service. It actually was an outgrowth of the original storyline. Mm-hmm. So on that score, I got to give a lot of credit to the writers and the showrunners so far of really using the graphic novel as the launching point for these new stories. The execution of it, I haven't seen a full episode to tell. I see people like screenshotting specific lines of dialogue that sound a bit preachy, etc., in some of the situations they bring up. But the whole 7th Cavalry thing, that was a reference from the original graphic novel. I mean, now the showrunners took that into a white supremacist angle and turned them to Rorschach. It's one of those situations where the one character who knew and wanted to tell the truth in the graphic novel, Rorschach, becomes the face of the really evil guys in the show, and yet they're also promoting the actual truth that the squid thing was a government plot. After a fact, well, it wasn't a government plot; it was a Vite plot, but it's really weird. I think I'm not quite sure. I'd have to see the whole series or get a sense of it, because people are giving it so much flack so far, but only like 2 episodes are out. So I don't know what Jeff Holiday may love it, and he might be right. I don't know. I haven't seen it.
So fame.
So sorry, that's not Jeff Holiday. That's Sofane. Jeff Holiday. Maybe Jeff Holiday likes it too.
He did comment it right up under. I like it too.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Adabisi, how many times should a person be able to tell another adult, go kill yourself? Should it be legal if the person doesn't kill themselves? Should it be legal if the person doesn't kill themselves?
I think it is legal if the person doesn't kill themselves.
Well, I mean, you could make an argument depending on the circumstances that it's harassment. I mean, if you consider it a threat or that kind of thing, you can make the argument it's harassment, and it would be illegal if it's done often enough. And I mean, if I just sent you a letter every single day, and like cut out little letters and things, Jussie Smollett style, kill yourself, I could probably, if I found you, I could probably sue you for harassment. It'd be a civil action, probably. Could be criminal, depending. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be legal. Depends on, again, how many times you do it. Could be illegal. And then chat jumps. So, guys, if I missed your question, just post it again. Mr. Scott J87, why do 20% of millennials have no friends? Yes, check your logic. Millennials don't even like each other. They are the most hated. Is that an actual statistic from a study or something?
Yes, it's a study that was released sometime recently.
No.
22% of millennials have no friends is what it was.
Well, is it because they're antisocial or because they're just so fervently independent?
What was the other part of that? 20% of them said that they are always or almost always depressed.
Do you think that 20% figure would apply to most of humankind?
Well, no. Well, that's the other part of that, is that it's only millennials that this is a problem with. I can't remember the exact specifics, Specifics. I don't remember them exactly, but it was something to the point of just Gen X is better than that, and when you get to boomers, it's I think only 9% of boomers consider themselves lonely, something like that. So it's almost like the boomers might have known what they were doing.
Let's see. Motto Winter. Oh lords, hills, plains, or inverted sphere?
I'm gonna go with what?
Donuts.
Tacos.
Bell curve. I don't know. Texas Red, Lords of the Night. Do you think Disney will fire Kathleen Kennedy if Rise of Skywalker tanks?
Nope.
She will stay on as long as her contract is, and then she'll go on to other things, etc. She's had her contract renewed. She will play out her contract. Whether or not she will have any decision-making power after Rise of Skywalker tanks is, I don't think, in doubt. She probably won't, because Kevin Feige's basically come in and is essentially going to be running things, and Kathleen Kennedy is just going to be there because that's what George Lucas wanted when he sold the whole company. They won't fire her. They will let her contract run out, and she will move on to new opportunities. Dr. No, Scribe, have you seen The Sound of Music? Edelweiss, Edelweiss. That's the only lyric I know. Yeah, I've seen it at least twice in my life. Once when I was a kid, and once relatively recently, like in the last 10 years or something. Let's see. Toasted Network. Scribe Light. Did the Joker kill his neighbor in the movie? Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I couldn't tell you. Thanks for ruining it for me, if you did. Dr. No, Satsu, how is the baby?
She's good. Squishy's been taking her out every now and then in the harness. She took her up to her old job so everybody can see her, and Squishy gets stopped. Every time she leaves the house with a baby, she gets stopped by at least 3 old women who are just like, let me see your baby. And she loves it, man. Squishy, she loves the attention. She's like, my baby is so cute. How did we do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. But she is super adorable.
Zeo Gold, Ranting Monkey, given your attitude, have you ever been compared to Commissar Sebastian Yarrick?
No.
Who is, I don't know who that is. Is that a historical figure or like a sci-fi character?
No damn clue who that is.
Okay. Sean Uli, are there any tutorials that show how to make a YouTube video, and what kind of software do I need?
There are hundreds of them.
Yeah, there's lots of videos that'll tell you. I mean, I use Vegas Pro for my videos. That's a pricey option. I won't deny it. That when I first bought that, I was like, well, I might as well just go all in. Vegas Pro 14 is what I've got, and it's great. I haven't needed to upgrade for anything. It's as simple as my videos are to create. What do you use, Satsu?
Camtasia for my editing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I use Camtasia. What kind of streaming, or I guess YouTubing, are you trying to do? Because there are certain channels dedicated to building certain channels, if that makes any sense. So the one that I watched a lot was I think it was called YouTube Gaming Careers or whatever. And that dude is like the single most informative and abundant of video tutorials and equipment that you need and that good stuff. It really depends on exactly what you're trying to do, because that's how you're going to search for it.
Yeah, there's lots of tutorials out there. A lot of the software setups you get will walk you through some of the basics. And honestly, a lot of it comes, regardless of what software you use, and some are better than others, but a lot of it is just trial and error. Just experiment with it, and that kind of thing, and learn as you go. But Vegas Pro is what I use for editing the videos. And then Audacity is what I use to record my audio track that I will insert into Vegas Pro. And Audacity is free. Vegas Pro is, you can get a free trial if you sign up for like a month or two, but it's pricey if you want the full thing. Sometimes, if you're lucky, there was recently a time where they sold Vegas like 13 or 14 or something in a humble bundle for like $5 or whatever.
Yeah, humble bundle throws
sell on Steam sometimes too.
Yeah, so keep your eyes out for that. Sometimes you can get really, really good software sets for super cheap on a sale, but otherwise, most times it's pretty expensive. Mono Winter. Oh, meows. Why is Katie Hill saying it is revenge porn when she was the one who posted them on a married woman's site? What?
Well, that's the part I'm still waiting to find more information about. If she actually posted those publicly, this is not revenge porn.
I hadn't heard that bit. Who's a married woman's site? What does that mean?
A site where married women post stuff like that.
Oh, so she was showing off kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so someone just, well, either the husband or someone else just found stuff that she posted onto. Okay, if that's true, then her revenge porn thing is going to fall through real quick.
Yeah, because it would be nonsense at that point.
Yeah. Mr. Scott J87, what's your scariest story as a driver or passenger in a car where you thought you might die?
I think I've already told mine before, but I got into a crazy accident with my ex-girlfriend. We were waiting at an intersection on the way to work for a while because there was a train passing, and because the lines had gotten so long on each one, the two-lane road that we were getting ready to pull up on, we were sitting there, and it was kind of our turn to go. But there was a semi coming, and I was telling her, like, you know, all these other cars that came and they were taking turns or whatever, every car that was turning, a car in our lane went because that car was turning. So they're like, okay, well, now we can go. But I'm like, this is a semi, so you should probably wait because you can't see behind that truck. And she's like, it's a 2-lane road. Like, and I'm like, yes, I know. She was like, who the fuck is going to run into oncoming traffic? I'm like, we've been sitting here for 20 minutes. If they want to get past that semi, they're going to go into oncoming traffic. And she said, and I quote, shut the fuck up, I know what I'm doing. And pulled into the road, and we got smashed by a motherfucker rolling in oncoming traffic. And I was fucking furious, but I couldn't be because she got hurt. And I was just like, you fucking idiot.
I have to point everybody real quick to Twitter, where Hearst Gravegear, who is a new Jordan 250, not replacing, but just, you know, a disciple thereof, has made the 3.5-headed camel made in fucking Japan.
So,
it's
a nightmare version of Scribe.
Yeah, that too. But congratulations on coming up with a meme. Car ride scare. You know, I guess it's not very exciting. I was a passenger in a car with someone who I'd never been in a car with before driving, and she drove very lazily, erratically in places, and I wasn't necessarily concerned I was going to die, but I was nervous that she was going to crash the car the way she was driving. I didn't say anything because it was one of those things where she's just this side of staying within the lines, but it was just very herky-jerky. It's not a very exciting story, but that's the closest I've got. Monkey, ever been in a dangerous car situation?
Several. The one that comes closest or most to mind is my daughter was an infant. We're traveling through a town nearby, and I saw this truck. I saw him not paying attention, and sure enough, right as we're about to him, this motherfucker pulls out in front of me. I slammed the brake, and the guy next to me T-boned him.
Oh.
And the kid in the truck had the nerve to get out laughing. It's like, you are lucky, motherfucker, because if I'd have hit you with my daughter in this car, I'd have killed your ass.
Sean Uli says, I plan on making educational, entertainal videos. Oh, so better than what we do. Okay, well, fine, you know, whatever. Let's see. Zio Go, Lords of the Night. Ever had pot brownies? I have not.
Nope.
No.
Out of Winter. Oh, Louds, would you try a root beer float pie? I'm not a big root beer fan per se, but you know, I'd take a bite of a slice, I guess. I don't know. It's got ice cream in it, purportedly, maybe. Okay, Aslan, would you rather have one nipple or two belly buttons?
Does it matter?
Like one right in the center of my chest nipple, or just like one on one side kind of thing? I don't know. I'll say two belly buttons, and then I'll always have like a party conversation I can start. Hey, I had two umbilical cords. Oh my god. Delafruit Zero, have you guys heard the Japanese blood drives teaming up with anime shows with large-breasted females have increased blood donation numbers in Japan? I saw that tweet. I don't know if it's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised. You guys see that?
I'm not.
Was that the one where they had the busty anime girl on the blood drive thing, and people were like, "This is disgusting."
Yeah, this is terrible, and whatever else in the Japanese blood drive, people are like, yeah, but our blood drive donations have gone up like 30% or something. I was like, oh, okay.
So fuck off.
Yeah. Toesnet, we're Scribe Light. Do you know that D-Fun Fact is a fan of your channel? No.
Who that?
And yeah, that was my next question. Who's D-Fun Fact? I hope I'm not like insulting some 5 million subscriber YouTuber who would, suddenly elevate me into the stratosphere or something. But no, I've never heard of D-Fun Fact. Sorry. Not that my fans need to be 5 million subscriber YouTube. Just like, is this somebody I'm supposed to know? It's one of those things where it's like, oh my God, what do you mean you've never heard of the Queen of England? Dr. No, Lords of the Night, what brand of cigarettes are you smoking? I don't smoke cigarettes. Satsu, what cigarettes do you smoke?
I don't smoke.
Monkey, what brand of cigarettes do you smoke?
I roll my own.
Monkey brand cigarettes. There you go. Gulf City, Typical Confederacy 379. Scribe Light, ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? I have never shot Bruce Wayne's parents, no. Zio Go, Lords of the Night, what do you think ruins Halloween for more people, SJWs or the religious right? Bad candy is what ruins Halloween for most people. Cheap candy, or like here's a vegetable or something.
Yeah, I think that's the universal ruiner.
Yeah, or people are here's the thing: houses that don't participate.
Rocks in your bag.
Yeah, they rocks in your bag.
Brown.
That kind of stuff.
A Donald Trump sticker around you.
Right. Mr. Scott J87 got it. Big boobs equals more blood. So what we need is Hooters sponsoring blood drives to boost numbers. I think they have. I would not be
probably.
When I was waiting in line to see episode 1, because it was one of those things where it's like, oh, they're talking about how, people have been camping out for a week or something to get their first tickets. When I got to the box office, there was like 7 people in front of me, and they had tents and everything. They've been there forever, and I just got there like 9 a.m. or something, and there's only 7 people there. Anyway, the theater was right next to a Hooters restaurant, or like right across the street. And so as a promotional thing for all the people waiting in line, you had Hooters girls coming out and giving out free wings and discounted like sandwiches or something, like a buck a sandwich or something. And for people waiting in line, it was great. It was like all these nerds ogling at these busty women walking around giving them free food. Like, yeah. It was great. It was better than the movie.
They know how to make money over there.
Oh yeah. Peter Silak, Hades 3 and 3. Without looking it up, do you know what the Fourth Amendment is off the top of your head? Well, I know search and seizure. You're protected from illegal search and seizure. I'm sure, and I can't quote it. Unfortunately,
Quote it, no, but yeah, it's
right to privacy is essentially the umbrella phrase for it. It's
in your person.
your personal effects, papers, domicile or whatever, etc. Yeah. Toast Network says Defunct Land. Oh, Defunct Land is a fan of mine. Really?
Defunct Land.
Oh, oh my God, Defunct Land's a great channel. This guy does these documentaries on like now defunct like attractions at theme parks, like Disneyland things that went under, or foreign amusement parks and stuff, and the stories behind their creation and the histories, and local amusement parks and things. Some of the stories behind the Disneyland theme parks that and rides and things that came and went, or the scandals that inspired them, etc. Really interesting stuff. They're great documentaries. It's amazing. Like the creation of the Back to the Future ride, or Captain EO, or what happened with the Matterhorn, or this one park in New Jersey and how it got shut down because of ill maintenance and all this other stuff. Really interesting stuff. I had no idea. That guy's great. I wish I could make videos that interesting. But with that said, guys, as I self-deprecate, which almost sounds disgusting in a way, it's the top of the hour and thus the end of the show. So I want to thank all of you guys for coming out tonight and joining us as you always do. You guys are the best audience in the world. Remember, over on 2 Cents Plus, just after this, you can watch Monkey and Satsu run around in Horde Night on 7 Days to Die, shooting zombies with the brand new al-Baghdadi zombie that blows himself up when he comes at you.
Indeed.
Remember also that tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the regular time. Do I need to plug anything else, or am I missing something? Oh, yeah, go check out Defunct Land. If Defunct Land's actually a fan, hey, go check it out. Look up Defunct Land on YouTube. There is a plethora of really interesting documentaries, because the stories behind the amusement parks is its own little amazing world, especially when it comes to Michael Eisner. Oh, Michael Eisner. What a gift of the world you were. Yeah. So, everybody, thanks for coming out. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved in the world. Everybody who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate that, as we all do here. And yeah, Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Fuck off, degenerates.
And per tradition, I have got out my copy of Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism. Turning to your random page, and today's secret word is accurate.
Oh.
I know. Sounds deep, doesn't it?
That's what she said.
Deep and hard.